Yo, 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 Giants Nation, what's up, man? Your boy Awthentik back in the building one time with an impromptu Monday live. We got a new show we're going to be working on. This one is going to be called Giant Overreaction. Been spending my last couple of hours and last night on Twitter gauging what Giants Nation is, kind of feeling about with this loss we just took last night to the Denver Broncos. To a lot of fans, it was unexpected. So definitely want to do a little chopping it up. Let me just tell y'all about the way this show is going to work. It's going to be a quick live, probably about a good 30 minutes where I bring in a Giants guest every week, and we're going to talk about topics that are overreactions. Today, I think we got about 4 questions. Our guest on the show will have to pick the over or the under on if this is a overreaction or not. For those that don't know, I'm one half of the team of Awthentik and Beard. Awthentik and the Beard. Left side, strong side in the building one time. I haven't took a look at the chat yet. I see we got a few people in there. But without further ado, let's get the guest on the screen one time. Surprise guest. I just reached out to the homie. I'm so boosted to have him on the channel for the first time, getting ready to chop it up one time. Y'all make some noise in the chat. Let me see some biceps in the chat for the homie Pestilence in the building one time, y'all. Make some noise for the homie Pest, man. He in the building, Giants Nation. We in the building.
Let's go. What's going on, all you crazy SOBs? How the hell are we doing today? Huh? Are we angry? Are we happy? Are we sad? Are we disappointed? Single tear? What's going on? How we feeling today, yo? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, Pest, I'm feeling the energy already, man. So let's get to it, man, because, this is the kind of stream that I don't want this one to get too overblown and be, too lengthy of a stream. But, man, it's been some heated debates going on Twitter. We know what that is. A lot of people I've been seeing have been blaming Jason Garrett for yesterday's loss. Huh. With my 2 eyes, I saw a different story. I'm going to keep it 100. I saw a defense out there that was struggling all day, couldn't get off the field on 3rd down, struggled on even 4th downs. I saw a Broncos team that was as confident as Bill Belichick going for it on 4th down. Converted to 4th and 7 on us. I can't remember the other one. I think it was a 4th and 2. We saw some lackluster red zone play, but I'm going to get right to it. Let's get to this first question right here. And I think this is probably the biggest topic of the day on Twitter that I've seen.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Pest, I want to know, after week 1, it's safe to say the Giants should fire Jason Garrett. Are you taking the over or the under on this one?
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I got this all down pat, right? If it's over, it's not an overreaction. If it's under, it is an overreaction.
Well, since we kind of making up the rules on the fly here today, I would say if it's over, if you take the over, yeah, let's go. That makes more sense because it's the over in the overreaction.
Okay.
So let's take the over if you think it's an overreaction.
Yo, this is not an overreaction. Then if the over is an overreaction and the under is not, then this is 100% the under. Okay, like Jason Garrett has got to go, okay? And listen, ain't no one's going to be able to say that I flip-flop on this take. I've hated this man since day one. I never wanted him here. So this is the under, okay? This man has got to go, all right? Ever since this man has stepped into the building, our offense has just taken a steady decline into the nether realm, okay? This is bad. Now, let me add a little bit to this now, just to get a little context where you coming from. It seems that you felt that way before going into this week 1 matchup against the Broncos. Was there anything in the week 1 matchup that made you change your opinion or made it even more strong that you thought Jason Garrett should be fired? Or does this date back more to what happened last season with the New York Giants? I mean, this dates back to when he first got here, right? Let's be honest, right? When Pat Shurmur was here, Daniel Jones didn't look bad. He put up numbers. He did fine, right? He had some turnover issues, which he still has and he's still dealing with. But like overall, in regards to the numbers that he was putting up, Daniel Jones was doing fine, right? And so then we look at last season and we see, all right, Daniel Jones is one of the most accurate downfield passers in the league, all right? This doesn't mean that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I'm not a Daniel Jones apologist, but numbers are numbers and facts are facts. Daniel Jones was one of the most accurate downfield ball throwers in the league. And we come out this week or yesterday and we take 2 deep shots down the field. I mean, Really? That's the game plan? We take two
I don't know
deep
if you
shots down the
saw
field.
Bobby's breakdown of his footage, and he was talking about one of those deep passes down the field probably wouldn't have happened if we didn't draw him off sides.
Right.
And what I kind of was I like to play devil's advocate a little bit on Twitter as well. And playing devil's advocate, and I said, well, the Giants, if you look back to last season, there was a lot of times on 3rd and short where you saw Jason Garrett throw a fade route or throw something deep down the field too. So, he did draw him off sides, but it didn't seem like he gave him any kind of signal or route change or anything like that. But yeah, I would leave that, with a little bit of room for interpretation. But yeah, playing devil's advocate, I do think that maybe the play was designed to go deep. It was one-on-one coverage, on a 3rd down. You don't like to see that 3rd and short, but I've seen that a little bit too much from Jason Garrett, I feel like, in the first season and this week 1 here of 2021.
Right. I mean, listen, again, numbers are numbers, facts are facts. All right. When we look at the way this offense runs, it runs like it's afraid to make mistakes. And it's, that hinders any kind of progression that Daniel Jones could make, because we are basically programming Daniel Jones to be afraid to take chances because of turnovers. Like, we don't care about the turnovers if you bombing it down the field. Go do it. But, I don't know. Maybe Jason Garrett doesn't have confidence in Daniel Jones, or maybe Jason Garrett doesn't have confidence in himself, because this game plan and these play calls, this is just not what's shaking, y'all. I'm sorry. It's not what's shaking. And at this point, I don't believe in Jason Garrett. I don't think Jason Garrett is the guy, and I'm not going to defend him if he gets launched into the sun. That's just my personal opinion.
It's really tough to keep these short-winded, because I could talk about this topic, I feel like, for its own podcast. It could be its own a whole own hour. But with Jason Garrett, what I'm starting to figure out for myself here is, like, how much of this is on Daniel Jones. Y'all know I'm a Daniel Jones believer. I've been holding it down for Daniel Jones the whole time I've been on YouTube, pretty much. I got faith in the kid. When I see his intangibles on the field, he seems to be the kind of guy who's capable to get it done. But what I'm starting to feel now is, even myself, I'm making up too many excuses for Daniel Jones, and it feels that, like, he has to have the perfect situation. I was just on Twitter arguing with somebody, and I even went at his girl and all kind of stuff because he was coming for me. It's whatever. It's whatever. Once you open them gates, it is what it is with Awthentik. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
I love it.
But I'm starting to feel like that. I'm starting to feel like, why does every situation got to be perfect for Daniel Jones? Why is it that we always got to compare the numbers with and without Saquon Barkley? Why is it he's got to have all the weapons perfectly clicking? To me, the passing game yesterday was moving. I thought the offense was moving the ball pretty decent. If you look at the numbers in comparison to the Broncos, everything looked pretty identical. The Broncos torched us on 3rd and 4th down, but Teddy Bridgewater also had 97 yards of yak from his wide receivers on the day. Take away the 97 yards, he's averaging 6 yards per attempt. That's dink and dunk all day. But for some reason, it's working for the Broncos, and I think that number one reason is probably the red zone. So for me, this might be a push for me. As far as should we fire Jason Garrett, this one might be a push for me. And I might be leaning a little bit more towards the under, because I feel like the game plan that they set out to execute in week 1 was not a horrible game plan. I thought they used Kenny Golladay proper. We saw a lot of one-on-one matchups. I even saw Bobby breaking down the 1/4 down too, that I had a lot of comments on late in the game when the game is out of reach. But also, I think we got to put a little bit of this on Joe Judge. Everything that Jason Garrett does gets filtered through our head coach. Our head coach is also giving the approval on all of these game plans and saying, check, yeah, that's good. If we're coming into these games with a terrible game plan, I think it starts with the head coach, even though the game plan might be developed by Jason Garrett. So we got to place blame on the team, I feel like. So for me, I'm going to I might take the push and maybe take the under on the Jason Garrett question, on that one. But I definitely feel where you're coming from. And for the Giants fans who feel Jason Garrett should be fired, I need to see a little bit more.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm sorry. Awthentik. I'm sorry. Okay. Your show, you invited me on, right? You know that when you invite me on, right? There is a chance that your show might get hijacked, okay? But Els and Kels is in the chat right now. And
that's what's up.
And I want to specifically
you know what he said to me? You know what he said to me on Twitter? He said, I'm not going to tune into your shitty podcast.
Yes.
How that podcast looking right now, Kels?
Listen,
yeah, you can eat one for
Els
real.
and Kels. Listen, bro, okay? Sometimes when we're talking and we're just getting our thoughts out, sometimes we make mistakes, okay?
Big facts.
I mean, like, listen, in my video that I did yesterday, right? When I specifically said to Awthentik, because I was talking about Jason Garrett, and I said, I know Awthentik don't agree with this take, and Authentik's going to say Jason Garrett doesn't have anything to do with the offense. That's exactly what I said, but everybody knew that I meant the defense. Sometimes when we're talking via our fingers or our mouths, we say things that are mistakes. That does not discredit the knowledge that we have. Okay?
Oh, 100. And I want everybody to be clear on this too. Like, I'm a fan of football. I'm not one of them dudes on Twitter acting like I'm a coach and should be hired by the staff, or acting like a hindsight GM, like they need to hire me to go find the personnel for the Giants. Let's keep it 100.
Right.
The play that Bobby was breaking down today on Twitter, it's a small frame where you can't even see Kenny Galladay run the route. You just see him when he jumps for the ball.
Right.
But you know, this is one thing that I hate that people like to do when they try to harp on details, right? But why don't we harp on facts? It was a one-on-one play with a 6'4" wide receiver going up against a 5'11" cornerback. Let's keep it 100.
Exactly.
That is why we brought Kenny Galladay here to the New York Giants, was to catch that kind of pass. Pass got to be on target. You know, and I know he copping for Daniel Jones. That's cool. I do that too at times, right? Because I'm a Giants fan. I want my quarterback to do well. And sometimes after game day, when we have a bad game, I'm on Twitter trying to cop for my quarterback. But this year, I'm going to try to not do that as much as possible. And in this one, I'm going to take the push, because I just feel like we can't blame the game plan on Jason Garrett. Do you know that there was a whole hour's worth of real time that went by without the Giants offense touching the field?
Like, what?
There was two 8-minute drives by the Denver Broncos. Our defense is to blame as well. So, and what the crazy part about it that surprised me is when I looked at the box score, both teams had 8 possessions. So the Denver Broncos definitely found a way to use their 8 possessions a lot better than the New York Giants. And you 100%. Got a quarterback in Daniel Jones sitting on the sideline looking like Patrick Mahomes when a team executes against him properly. And then the New York Giants panic. So I got to blame Garrett on that. And that's kind of where the firing part kind of, I'm a little bit like 50-50 on it, is because, you know, some of that game plan does go on Jason Garrett. When y'all start to like panic in the second half and start to go for it on every 4th down and not get it, you're leaving points out there on the board. And, you know, instead of what kind of looks like a blowout in a 14-point win for the Broncos, this could have been a 5-point win, and Giants fans probably would have felt better about it, but an L is an L, so we could leave it at that, I imagine.
And just to add one more thing to the game plan, right? Because I always talk about how I did coach football, right? I have been a football coach, and so I kind of understand some of the X's and O's thing. That doesn't mean that I'm smarter or better. It just means that I have some experience and I can bring that to the table. Listen, a lot of people don't think about this aspect of game plan, okay? For pretty much every team in the NFL, okay? Your first 10, 15 plays on offense are scripted, okay? You've worked on these 10 to 15 plays. We're going to run this series of plays. So we're going to practice this series of plays, right? So what you need to judge them on is the stuff they do later in the game, because none of that's planned. None of that's scripted. That's all game flow. So when I look at the second half of this game, where plays are no longer scripted, and I see this, and I see the play calling and the things that we are doing to react to what happened in the first half, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Okay?
Yeah,
I don't care about the first half of games. I care about the second half, because the second half of the game is the most important half, right? Obviously, it's the second half, but it's because that's where you make adjustments, and that's where you go off script. And that's where you'll show the preparation and the coaching. That's where that shines. And this coaching staff is supposed to be extra prepared. But the second half of the games, they look terrible. So I'm sorry. Like, this is the reason why I'm saying that this is not an overreaction. This is an under, because you guys' second halves suck, and they have sucked this entire time.
That's facts. And the first half seemed to be where the Giants offense was clicking a little bit better, moving the ball. Let me get to this super chat real quick one time. My man, Joseph Clark, he says, this is the O the Judge wanted. He needs the heat. I definitely agree in that. And I think Judge kind of brought Jason Garrett along to also bring in some experience from the head coach position at the offensive coordinator, you know, a guy who's been there, done that. This worked with Dak Prescott. And Des Bryant. You know, I'm not going to overreact on this one just because it's week 1 And I want y'all to be, keep in mind I'm going to be doing this every week. So maybe by week 4, I'm going to have an overreaction. And I'm going to be like, you got to get him up out of here.
Stuff. I can't stand this. Yeah. That's where we're going to be. That's
straight up. And we got one more other super chat I want to get to here. My man Don Vito says Pest look like LeVar Ball.
Listen, Donnie, first of all, Donnie, all right, I can't escape Donnie. It doesn't matter what platform I'm on, what channel I'm at. No one even knew that I was going to be here, and Donnie shows up.
Mad last minute.
How? How did you even know, Donnie? Did you tweet this out? Did you tweet this out?
I just tweeted it out once we got on air. I tweeted it out.
Like how does he know?
I know, right? He's pulling up on you, man.
He trolls me
shout out
everywhere.
Don Vito for pulling up one time, man. Is Don Vito a Giants fan?
I believe Don Vito's a Giants fan, and Don Vito is actually all right. Look, Don Vito is an awesome cat. He's super supportive of me. Like I said, everywhere I'm at, he seems to pop up, whether I think he's in my closet right now. I think he's watching me from the closet and he's on his phone because every time I'm anywhere, Don Vito is there. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
The chat is bumping right now, yo. I see y'all in there. I see a bunch of comments. My man Patrick says Graham needs to adjust quickly for Thursday, and that's facts. We got a short week. Y'all know I'm down here in D.C., man. We're all going to be at that game. That's going to be a hell of a time, man. Can't wait for that one. All right, man. Well, I don't want to make this go too long, so let's move it to the next question here. And I kind of had these in an order, but I feel like I should go to this one next. The New York Giants' new weapons won't work with Daniel Jones at quarterback. How we feeling about that, man? Y'all know all the beats is produced by your boy Awthentik, man. This show is supposed to be a way to kind of lighten up the mood throughout the week for Giants fans, man. I hope y'all enjoying what y'all getting so far, man. And anybody welcome. I don't care if you're a Giants fan. We got to do this for the Washington football team too, the Beard, because a lot of overreactions happening over there as well. But Pest, how you feeling about this one right here, man? You think these weapons are going to work? Should we overreact off week 1? It looked a little bit, like the 2020 season, I'd say. What you thinking on that, though?
Ooh, okay. Man, Daniel Jones, man. All right, this is what I'm going to say. This isn't over. I think this isn't over, okay? Y'all all know that I am not on the Daniel Jones train, okay? I'm not, all right? He has not made me a believer yet. So I'm not on the Daniel Jones train right now. But I think it is an overreaction to say that these weapons won't work with Daniel Jones at quarterback. I think that as long as we do a better job with the play calling, Daniel Jones can function with these weapons around him, okay? I don't think that Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback in the league, okay? Because he's not. I don't have to like Daniel Jones to say the fact that he is not the worst quarterback in the league. So the fact of the matter is that this is definitely an overreaction, okay? Daniel Jones is going to be fine. Not good, not great, not bad, just fine.
Fine.
Just fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Just fine. All right. Shout out Don Vito one more time. Says your voice sounds like Megatron. I'll take that as a good thing.
Hey yo, that deep authentic voice, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Every time I talk to Awthentik, every time Authentik's anywhere around me or in the vicinity of my voice, my octave gets a little bit deeper, y'all.
Hey, yo, what if I was faking the voice the whole time and you got around me and I had a high ass pitch voice?
Hey, what's going on, Pestilence? I'd be like, what?
That would be hilarious.
Hey, do me a favor, don't ever talk like that around me again, man. Turn the fake voice back, right? Turn the fake voice.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Man, yeah, this is an overreaction. So I'm gonna take the under on this one. I think Daniel Jones can work with these weapons. We got to do something with these hands. Somebody made a joke, I think, in the Hub stream last night saying that Daniel Jones might want to wear a glove. That might be a good idea, man. I was telling them I played a little two-hand touch football, co-ed vibes, nothing crazy, right? But I did go out and get me a pair of them Nike gloves, bro, and I was making some catches that was out of my realm 100%. So maybe Daniel Jones needs to do double glove it up. I know Teddy Bridgewater, I think, was double gloving it up for a second, but we know Kurt Warner was doing that. I think that's really his only problem. And another issue, actually, maybe there's one more problem here, is his play in the red zone. And I think that fans are having trouble trying to figure out, Is that play calling? Is that the quarterback? For me, I'm sick of everything trying to be perfect for Daniel Jones. This game put that in perspective for me. I didn't even expect the Giants to win this game. If y'all tuned in on Thursday to Awthentik and the Beard, our preview show, I picked us to lose the game. I think I picked like 24-19 Broncos. I thought it would be an ugly game. Granted, Giants only put up 7 points on the board in this game, but like I said, you had about 9 points kind of lingering out there, trying to be a little bit too aggressive towards the end of the game. Panicking when there's about 8 minutes left in the game, down by 2 scores, just trying to really get the ball into the end zone. So for me, it's like I can't really pinpoint yet how much of this is on the scheme, how much of this is on Daniel Jones, because, like I was saying on Twitter earlier, it's like I'm waiting for him to just audible out and make a play. Can you make a play when the wide receiver's not completely open? When Sterling Shepard's not flashing right in front of you. I think he played a pretty decent game, man. The completion percentage fell off as he got down into the third and the fourth quarter there. But if you look at our leading wide receiver in comparison to Jerry Jeudy, who was the Broncos' leading wide receiver, Sterling Shepard had 7 catches for 113 yards and a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy had the 6 receptions for 72 yards. Daniel Jones, I think he's still doing a little bit too much. He ended up being our leading rusher on the day, I believe, too. And the Giants are just struggling. That we don't want Daniel Jones to turn into Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's responsibilities when the Giants don't have a number 1 wide receiver, he folds. I don't want Daniel Jones having this much pressure on his shoulders. I think we need to take a little bit up off him. We know we couldn't run the ball yesterday. You got to be able to run the ball. Daniel Jones is not the kind of quarterback that's going to be able to, when things is going wrong, he's going to be able to make plays to make it go right with his arm. So the running game to me is the most important thing that the Giants need to figure out, get clicking. Everybody's kind of talking about the offensive line had a great game. In the pass block, the offensive line had a pretty good game. But when it comes to the run block, the Giants struggled yesterday. Saquon Barkley didn't have holes all day. Some people were calling that, maybe he was running a little bit timid. But you can't do that in the NFL. You get out there, they're playing as hard as they can. Ain't nobody giving half effort. People from the couch need to stop questioning NFL players' effort, okay? Straight up, man. So for me, I'm going to take the under on this one. I think Daniel Jones will have a better season than he's had in the past 2 years. Go look at the stats. Completions last year, pretty much identical. Attempts, pretty much identical. Yards, pretty much identical in the same number of games. The only thing is clean it up in the red zone. I'm not the coach. I don't know how they're going to fix that in the red zone. I want to see a little bit, maybe some more screens when we're getting closer to the red zone, and maybe we can score from coming outside of the red zone from like the 40 and the 30 on the opposite field. But that's how I see it. I can't really pinpoint Jason Garrett calling bad plays when we got one-on-one coverage down the field. In the NFL, one-on-one, if you're a really good wide receiver, you're going to make that play. I talked about the fade route that we were talking about earlier, which I couldn't see on the screen, but whatever. Like, it's a one-on-one play with a 6'4" guy on a 5'11" guy.
Right. You got to.
Did y'all see what Kenny Galladay did to Fuller when they played, when Kenny Galladay was in Detroit in 2020? Go look at them. Go look at them highlights. He was going off. Galladay looks to be the weapon that I think he'll be. I didn't like the reverse call to Kadarius Toney too, but also
not at all.
When I went back and I looked at it, I had some pictures on my phone, which I could you won't be able to see it from my camera here, but I had some pictures from my phone. I posted them on my Twitter if you're interested in checking those out. Kyle Rudolph has like a 2-layer block that he was supposed to do there. He was supposed to kind of like get whoever was on the line first, kind of like shade block them and then get to the next layer. And his first effort on the block is the reason why the play got blown up. Everybody else pretty much blocked pretty well on that play. But, it takes 11 men to make the play go, at least on a play like that. That's a reverse play. I see Don Vito. Yo, Don Vito, man, we appreciate you, man. You don't got to pay every time you want to say something. But I do appreciate the Super Chats one time, man. He says, do y'all want a new QB next season? What you think about that? That's a good question in this topic.
I mean, to be determined. To be determined, right? Like, I know that this is Overreaction Monday, right? I know this is Giant Overreaction. But that right there is the giantest of giant overreactions right now, is to be talking about a new quarterback, okay?
Yeah.
It's week 1, right? We got 16 more games. We'll figure that out at the end, okay? We're going to know if we need a new quarterback or if this one is the guy. We will know by the end of this year, and then we can revisit that question.
Yeah, I think the scary part is Giants fans now, I think we all know that Daniel Jones is not going to be the kind of guy that could put this team on his back by himself and get it done. I think we know that, right?
Nope,
but the quarterbacks in the NFL that can do that, there's only about a handful of them. I talked about this on a couple podcasts ago about how, like, Josh Allen is a quarterback who's right on the cusp of like top 5 or in a lot of people's top 5. But then when you go to tier 2, the fall off in the NFL is so drastic. It's ridiculous. I also think a guy like Derek Carr is not getting enough hype. I've got his stats pretty much memorized now because I've been saying this a lot on a lot of different podcasts, man. But 48 touchdowns, 17 interceptions in 2 seasons, 4,000 yards both years, and a 68% completion percentage. Bro, that's top 10 for me. But at the end of the day, if your team's not winning, the fans are not going to put you in the top 10.
Matter.
So I definitely get it. I don't think do we want a new quarterback next season? Do we want a new quarterback? I'm going to say it depends on who it is. You know, I think that's important. It depends on who it is, because if you could get a guy in here who's a baller and it could work out, then, yeah, maybe you go ahead and do that, because quarterback, you know, Daniel Jones is doing some good things, but the turnovers are kicking our butt for sure. So, yeah, I take the under on this one. Pest takes the over on this one, right?
Yeah, this is an overreaction.
Oh, this
right
is
now.
an overreaction.
This is an overreaction right now. Okay, it made in correlation to the question Don Vito asked.
Yeah,
we will know the answer to this question at the end of the season.
Yep. So this is an overreaction. So actually, let me flip that. I'm taking the over as well. And I don't think this is you know, it's warranted for sure, because the quarterback has been playing kind of iffy for sure. You know, but I think Daniel Jones deserves a little bit more time. And I think no matter what happens, he'll be the quarterback going into next season. They might draft somebody, but I think he'll be the quarterback going into next season. Which, you know, we talked about the running game a little bit as well here too, which leads me to my next topic, which is going to be a question about Saquon Barkley here. And you tell me if this is an overreaction. Saquon Barkley's best years are in the past, and we should trade him.
Hey, yo, did you talk to Will? Did you talk to Will about this? Was this? I know, because I know he was on Pizzles.
This particularly, but this me and Will have been talking on Twitter. This sounds like Will.
This sounds like this question came from Will specifically.
Hey, shout out Will. I think Will is 20 spelled out 20, and then 7 on Twitter, man. He gives some awesome takes. I saw him on Pizzle's channel the other day.
Hey, he's a good dude, too.
Knowledgeable Giants fan and a good dude. We got to kick it with him at the Fan Fest. Yeah, you know, I could tell Will was turned up and had a couple of drinks. Like, we were too, though. Y'all know how we was doing.
Wait a minute. I was getting ready to say, man, listen. My Fan Fest video is my most viewed video on my channel, and it's probably because I was drunk as hell. That's probably the reason why.
Yeah, we was definitely lit at the Fan Fest. Tainer went live on the Fan Fest. I know you went live on the Fan Fest. I was like, I'm not cut out to go live during the Fan Fest. I'm liable to do some wildness after a couple shots of JMO and some IPAs for sure, man. But what's your thoughts on this? You know, is this an overreaction?
We shouldn't even be asking this question. Okay, like this shouldn't even be a question that we're asking right now. You know, because how can his best years be behind him when he hasn't even had enough years for us to determine what his best is? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can't sit here and say that Saquon's best years are behind him when you know he's getting ready to play his second actual season. You know what I'm saying? Like the man hasn't even played 3 years in the league because he was hurt for one of them. So this is crazy. Okay.
Yes.
Get this all the way out of here. Trade him. Not right now. No. Just no to all of this right here. No to all of this right here.
I'm with you on this. The Giants definitely struggled in the running game for sure. Only had 3 rushing first downs, and Daniel Jones being the leader of all the rushers. Booker was not a good complementary back to go with Saquon Barkley in this game, I feel like. And I definitely think that this is an overreaction for sure. I'd take the under on this one too. You know, Saquon Barkley has had some fantastic years. Let's not forget about the high ankle sprain that he had, I believe it was in 2019, you know, where he came back and still rushed for 1,000 yards. And then the rookie campaign is just amazing. I mean, the 91 catches, you know, and the 1,000+ yards on the ground. Saquon Barkley is a transcendent back like they thought he would be. And I still think with that draft, he was the right pick at number 2. Especially for this organization. You know, I believe Lamar Jackson was in that draft, but the Giants ain't going to go out there and get a guy like that. And even a guy like Josh Allen, I feel like the Giants weren't going to take a risk on a guy like that. You know, Daniel Jones was a surprise at pick 6 the following year, but still, I still think Saquon Barkley was the best pick. You had Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold in that draft. Sam Darnold looks like he's doing pretty good. I got a little bit of faith in Darnold in Carolina. I think he can do well in there. But I definitely think this is an overreaction. Saquon Barkley just needs a little bit more time to get his feet wet. And I think a lot of blame has got to get put on this offensive line. We know that this is a offensive line that's built with scraps now. Dave Gettleman has invested so much draft capital in the offensive line, and it's still one of the glaring issues. I feel the same way about the linebacking core on the opposite side of the ball. It's like you spent damn near a whole draft on linebackers, and we still got linebacker issues. Our linebackers still can't cover. We still don't got the edge rushers in the 3-4 who can really get to the quarterback in a ferocious way. So I got to blame a little bit of this on the organization, and then step two being a little bit of this on the offensive line. I don't know if in Saquon's rookie year what happened, how he was able to bounce some of these runs out and make these big plays, but my speculation would be having Odell Beckham at number one. Having a guy like Odell Beckham as your number one wide receiver allows safeties to stay over the top and less people to get down in the box, and in return you'll get more success out of your running back. So for this one, I think this one's kind of an easier one. Definitely an overreaction, I think, from the Giants fan base. I've been seeing it a lot out there. My man Will, Pest is saying my man Will's putting that one out there a little bit too. But yeah, I definitely think that one's an overreaction. So we could probably move to the next one. Let me see what the chat's saying here. If we blow it up, you trade them. If not, it's nonsense. Front office has to change. Sergeant Knicks fan says here. Whew, that one that should have been one of my questions, to be honest. I should have talked about the front office.
Yo, the front office, I hate them right now. I hate them.
My man says, agree. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. I like that name, fam. Eli also did a lot at that line pre-snap. Yeah. Oh, my God, that's a great point. Eli made Saquon Barkley a lot better, and he also made Odell Beckham a lot better because his pre-snap reads were just amazing. He knew how to check in and out of this. I see Daniel Jones do, a good bit of audibling at the line, but then it's like it goes into a bad player, goes into a turnover, or goes into an incomplete pass. And a lot of Giants got to step up, man. Our second and third wide receivers are kind of iffy. I think Slayton had a strange game, a couple drops there, and the 9 route seems to be the only thing that Slayton is running proper these days. And I don't know, maybe Kadarius Toney needs to find a way to go out there on the other split end and be able to play that side, because I'm losing a little bit of faith in Slayton, but I'm not going to overreact. It's still just one game. Nothing too crazy on that. But yeah, we're going to take both of us taking the under on that one.
That's. Oh no, I think we're both taking the over because it's overreaction.
Yeah, we're taking the over. Yeah, we still getting used to these rules here, man. Pest kind of brought that to light there, and I think that is a good way to do that, to have the overreaction. We take the over. I like that. That's pretty fire right there. And if y'all don't know, man, definitely subscribe up to the channel one time. If you new here, I see a couple new faces in the building. Please. And also check us out on Twitter, man. Pestilence is not a normal on this show. My normal co-host is the Beard. Tuesdays and Thursdays we do previews and recaps, and on Sunday we do a show called The Parlay, just talking some fantasy laid-back vibes. But definitely check out Pestilence on his channel, PTA Sports, and check him out on Twitter. These are our Twitter handles you're seeing on the screen right here. And let's get to this next one here. I like to bring in a beat for the introduction to every one of these questions, and I'm a one-man show today without the Beard, so it's a little crazy over here.
Hey, that's all good, man. We making it do what it do right now, though. This is great content.
I appreciate it, fam. So we got the Fire Garrett, we got the Barkley is cooked vibes, and we got the the Giants' weapons won't work. So this is actually going to be our last question of the show. I'm trying to keep these shows short. We're at 34-minute mark right now, so maybe this will be like a 40-minute show, something like that. And I think this is more of the realistic question here. After what you saw on Sunday versus the Broncos, the New York Giants are still a playoff contender in the NFC East.
I mean, whew. Yeah, let's vibe for a second.
Let's let that marinate, right?
Yeah, let's let the beat talk to him.
Man. This was on a project we put out in 2011 called Beef and Broccoli. Real like pimp vibes meet some hip hop vibes, man. Produced by me on this one too.
Man.
We'll give Pestilence a good 5. Maybe I need a clock. I need a clock on this show. We're going to get a clock graphic for the next one here.
So, I mean, like, I guess the question is, were we playoff contenders before the game happened? Because I don't know if we were or not. Could we be? Yes, we could be. I don't think that like this is a overreaction. To say that like, oh, because of this game we're not playoff contenders. I think if that's the question, This game is like we're not playoff contenders because of this game. That's an overreaction. It's any given Sunday. It's the NFL, okay? Like, let's not pretend that Aaron Rodgers didn't just get his cheeks clapped.
Facts. Okay? He said his cheeks clapped.
let's not pretend that Tom Brady and the Buccaneers didn't get mollywopped week 1 last year. Let's not pretend that Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants in 2017 and in 2011 didn't get pimp slapped week 1. Like, this is the NFL. It's any given Sunday, okay? Yep. One game does not define anything unless that one game is the difference between you getting to the dance or not. Like, that's the only time that one game defines anything. So this game changes nothing right now. We weren't going to go undefeated anyway, so it doesn't matter. We got the loss out the way. Like, that's the best way to look at this right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I picked the Giants to go 9-8 this season, and be the front runner for the NFC East, actually. Excuse me, with the Dallas Cowboys just right behind them at 8-9. And last minute on Sunday, I tried to hype myself up and try to cheer myself to a Giants win. And I switched my pick on Sunday. But I talked about Teddy Bridgewater in the preseason. And that team is underrated. Their wide receiver core over there is super. I mean, they got a lot of speed over there, and they're very underrated. And with Sutton coming back, that gives them even another weapon. I thought Teddy Bridgewater was doing a fantastic job in the preseason with his reads, and just 3-layer routes working for them well. I thought that they were going to be able to beat us in the intermediate game. That was my speculation going into this game. So for this, if there's anybody who doesn't think the Giants are still a playoff contender and you thought they were coming into the season, then I would call that an overreaction as well. I don't think you can just take one game and go, okay, they blew this one game, coaches, defense, quarterback. I think most of the blame goes on. Giants got to regroup. I think coming into this game, I knew it was going to be slow. And Kenny Galladay and Saquon Barkley talked about that. They used the word rust and they used the word start slow. I think that we should have took their word for it. People in the media, when a football player is being interviewed by the media, they're not going to just say something like that and not mean it. Most of the time, they not even going to tell you those kind of facts, to be honest. So yeah, I'll take the under, I believe, on this. Or maybe the over, I don't know, because it's kind of an overreaction if you think we're not going to make the playoffs. But for the people who are saying we are still a playoff contender in the NFC East, I will say that, yeah, I'm going to take the under on that for sure.
Okay. All right. Hey, shout out to Philly Notion. I see you in the chat.
Hey, my G, one time.
Philly Notion is in the building, man. What's going on with you, Philly, man? Hey, listen, you and I, we all going to talk here real soon. But
man, all them emojis, man. Yo, yeah, Philly, man, y'all be using these crazy y'all always using the 100 emojis, man. Y'all always got to we got to bring Philly Notion on the show one time too, man. Maybe for my giant overreaction, we'll bring in Philly Notion when we play the Philadelphia Eagles. That might be a good one to bring him up for. But man, shout out to Philly Notion. Go sub up them. He's got a good Eagles channel, man. And yo, I gotta say this, yo. Giants fans, like, yo, I was on Hub's channel last night, right? And like this one dude just kept sending in super chats so he could say like jokes about like how stupid the Eagles fan base is, right? Let them live, yo. They just got a convincing win where their quarterback that everybody was dogging in the Giants community saying that Jalen Hurts is garbage. He came out there and balled completely out, had a fantastic game with his legs and throwing the ball. I don't know what he ended with, but his completion percentage around the third quarter was looking fantastic. I think that Sirianni is building an incredible game plan for him over there, simplifying it, which is what I think Jason Garrett is trying to do with Daniel Jones. But the difference is that Philly got the win on week 1 and the Giants get the L on week 1. So, yeah, Philly Notion, I'm going to definitely hold that L. Big props to Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Y'all played a fantastic game. And the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night also played a fantastic game. I think the NFC East, be aware, man, we got some good teams out here. The teams that I thought were going to be at the top of the division kind of are now sitting at the bottom of the division with the Washington football team taking an L to the Chargers, who were 2 for 6 in the red zone. And we looking at Daniel Jones, who was 1 of 3. Now, I'm not a math major, but those kind of equal the same thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, Pest. Maybe I'm tripping. But Daniel Jones struggled in the red zone. So did Herbert. But they got the win. I think that's what matters in the NFL. If you get the W's, that's what's most important.
Yeah, wins matter. And later for all that, yo, the Eagles suck. Philly Notion. The Eagles are trash bag garbage. Your quarterback is washed before his career even started. Your head coach, he don't know nothing about football. He plays Madden on the weekends, all right? Your stadium is trash. Your city smells like feet and fresh fish.
He said like feet and fresh fish. my man the pest one time, yo. Hey, man, look, I want to keep this sweet and short, man. Any last words before we get you up out of here and I do some closing remarks, man, for this Giants fan base?
Oh, man, I really appreciate you bringing me on, man. Shout out to everybody that came and hung out with us, man. Shout out to Diggy. Make sure you sub him up. Shout out to Word 21. Shout out to Donnie. Shout out to Philly Notion. Your Eagles are terrible, all right? Appreciate all y'all, and I get up with you guys later. Deuces.
Hey, let's get some biceps in the chat one time for the homie Pest, man. I think as a first guest on this show, the Giant Overreaction, he did a fantastic job, man. He brought a lot of energy, man. So, like I said, I want to keep this sweet and short, man. It's been 41 minutes already. I appreciate everybody in the chat who pulled up today. I appreciate everyone, sending in the super chats and all that, man. That's love. Y'all don't got to do that. We're going to try to, do our best to just, focus in on the good questions in the chat, man. So, if y'all want to keep this discussion going on for a little bit longer, I'm going to be on Twitter all day long. We took an L week one. Y'all know what an L does to week one, man. An L in general can ruin your whole week. Thank God it's a short week here, man. And we got Thursday that we're going to go out here to my home city, Washington, D.C., and take on the Washington football team, which I picked us to win that game. Me and the Beer are going to be chopping it up tomorrow about the recaps from this past Sunday games, and on Thursday we're going to be at the game. So I don't know, we're going to figure out when we're going to do these previews. Might be an early show on Thursday, or it might be a live show from FedEx from the tailgate. Anybody that's going to be at the game on Thursday against Washington, we're going to be in Green Lot E, turning up crazy. If you was at the Fan Fest, you know how Awthentik turns up. My man Pat was in the building, Entertainer was in the building, Pest was in the building, Hub was in the building. We had a real good time at Fan Fest, man. So with all that said, man, I'm going to end the show right there. I appreciate y'all pulling up one time, man, for the first version of Giant Overreaction. We're going to get a graphic and all that. We're going to get things situated, man. But my passion was running on fire on Twitter last night. Could barely get any sleep, man. So I had to come in and tap in with y'all today. Appreciate y'all pulling up once again, man. Make sure to check us out tomorrow. We're going to be live at 7 o'clock. And y'all know what it is, man. Giants Nation in the building. Left side, strong side in the building. Y'all be safe, man. Hopefully these Giants can get that win on Thursday, y'all. Peace.